There's a new sandwich in town. How about that? Oh, hey. What is that sound? That's it. Why does this always gotta happen on my day off? What the hell is that sound? It's that damn toilet running again. Guess we gotta get some work done on this old baby. Welcome to Plumbing with Tim, everybody. It's great to have you all here on this beautiful day on the weekend. Hope you're going to stick around for a few minutes so I can show you how to fix a toilet that's running. Let's get right to it. Hey, there you are. Today I'm going to show you how you can replace the fill valve inside of your toilet. So we're working with the basic plain Jane Fluidmaster fill valve. Okay, you can find this anywhere. You see them on the shelves at Lowe's and Home Depot, and as well as your plumbing supply store, and they're generally found in most standard toilets these days. All right, let's go ahead and open the box up. These things run usually about $10 to $15. We're going to open the top of this box up, and we're going to pull our parts out. I'm going to put them down here on the counter, and let's have ourselves a look. Okay, so if you take a look carefully here, we have a Fluidmaster. This is what we find inside of our toilets usually. All right, as well as a fill tube and your little accessories that go along with it, and I'll show you how to put all that together. Safety first. Get these gloves on so we can work fluently. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to drop down and we're going to turn our shutoff valve off to the toilet. Make sure it's all the way off. This is old and I've been telling myself that I need to replace this valve, and we'll do that in another video. In this case, this gives me a little bit of problem, so I need to take a pair of channel locks and probably turn this off. Okay. Let's get that sucker all the way off. This way we can work without flooding out our home. Almost there. Almost there. Let's go ahead and just cut that off. Look at that, I broke it. So now I don't have a choice. I'm going to end up having to replace that. Okay, so what we're going to need down here is a towel, and I've got a small bucket right here. We're going to set that small bucket underneath the toilet like that. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to flush the toilet and get as much of the water out of the toilet as we possibly can. All right, because we're going to be working up here in the tank area. Okay, water's off. Good. We got a bucket though because we need to catch the water as soon as we take the supply line off. Now that we know the water is out, we're going to go ahead and take this supply line off underneath the toilet. So we got a catch bucket. We want to catch that water because there's going to be some water. See that? It's dripping water. Alright. And remember, I broke that shutoff valve and I'm going to have to replace it, but we'll do that in another video. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the lid off the back of the toilet. Alright? Now there's still about this much water in the bottom of that tank, and I need to get rid of that because I got to take this valve out of here. And I don't want all that water all over the floor. So I'm going to grab my short, small shop vac, and we're going to get that water out of there before we change the valve. So stick around. Okay, so now that we've got the water out of the tank up here, I'm going to take a pair of channel locks. I'm going to go down here and get this nut down here. And we're going to loosen it up. We got to get this valve out of here. All right. Nice and easy. I'm going to take that out of there. That. Okay, so I might still have a little water. Get my bucket back in here. There we go. So now let's go into the tank. There's that baby. Right there. Looks a little bit different because this is actually set up as what's called an anti-siphon fill valve. We're not going to put this back in because I don't like the way this thing performs. Okay, so next, this little bag that comes inside of here, it has a nut, and a washer, and a clip. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open this up like so. Get our little parts out. It should be about 3 parts, maybe sometimes 4. And I'm going to take my Fluidmaster, and on the bottom of it, down here, before I put it in that toilet, I want to take this little gasket, rubber gasket O-ring, and slide it onto my threads. Just like that. Alright, now we can put this back inside of the tank. I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so right down here is that hole that this valve is going to go into. I'm going to take my new Fluidmaster fill valve and I'm going to set it down in that hole so the gasket is going to seal to the bottom of that tank. Alright, so if you take a look down here, here's the bottom of that valve. I'm going to reach my hand up here and just hold it into place in the tank. And take that nut that I showed you. I'll come down here. I'm going to put the nut on the bottom of this. And usually, so you don't break anything, you can hand tighten these suckers. And just get them so that rubber seal isn't going to leak any water. Nice and snug. Alright? At that point, I can go ahead and I can take my supply line nut, and it has a rubber washer gasket inside of there, so I don't need to apply any kind of Teflon tape. Rubber seal is going to tighten up and give this a proper seal, nice and hand snug. We don't want any kind of leaks. As you can see, the Fluidmaster is right here, and this is the flush valve which holds the flapper. Now this has a little thing on there that says water line. So we really don't want the water in this tank to get up over this, or else it'll continue to run. So we need to take and make a couple adjustments on this in order for that water level not to go over top of the flush valve. Okay, let's not forget about this little fill tube that I showed you earlier. You're going to take this, usually generally a pair of scissors, and we're going to come back over here to where the toilet is. And we're going to take this and we're going to put it into this little orifice. Let me see this or not. Let me see if I can adjust the camera so you can see it better. See this? This is where water is going to come out as well as down below. This tube connects to that little orifice, just like that. Now the water that's coming out of here is going to be going on a clip into this flush valve, and that water in general goes into the bowl. Okay, so we have one more step, then I'm going to show you how it all works together. So we're going to take this little clip that came in the box with a fill valve, and we want to clip this thing onto a flush valve, the fill tube. All right, like that. You want to make sure that this little piece here is shooting in and it's not flipped around shooting into the tank, because the fill valve automatically puts water into the tank. This option is for this hose to go in here to that orifice, like so, to be able to put water into the bowl, so that way both the tank and the bowl are receiving the water. Okay, now that we put our Fluidmaster fill valve inside of the toilet tank and we've secured it down below with the retention nut and the supply line, we're going to go back inside of the tank and I'm going to show you how to set that up for water level. Now there's a couple different ways where you can adjust your water level with the Fluidmaster. The first thing is this little nut that's right here, okay? It'll turn either clockwise or counterclockwise, which will increase or decrease the amount of water that this valve is putting into the back of your tank. There's also another way to increase more water. Down here in the bottom of this fill valve is a little white ring, okay? What you can end up doing is taking and sliding that ring. See? Ring slid. This way I can take and I can pull this thing apart. Just slide it back in until I get my proper height. There's different rings that are on here. You can go back and forth
until you get that to the height that you want. As soon as you get to the height that you want to accommodate the amount of water in your tank, you can slide that clip back over and lock it down. Okay, make sure if you do this, this ring is locked. You don't want this to have a bunch of water going through it and all, next thing you know, the thing blows apart and you got a flood going on. Okay, now that we've got the Fluidmaster fill valve installed into our toilet, we need to turn the water back on to the toilet. Unfortunately, I'm an idiot and I never replaced the valve, so I'm going to have to take a pair of channel locks and try to get it turned back on for demonstration uses, and I'm going to have to eat it and replace that valve.
Geez, I'm such an idiot. I'm like everybody else. I wait till something breaks before I get it fixed. Let's see if I can turn this back on. Got to replace this valve. We got to get water back inside of that toilet. There we go. Come on. Nice and easy. I got to get that tank filled with water. Alright. Still got a little bit left to go. If this happens to you, you better be darn careful, because you don't want this thing busting off. Next thing you know, you got a flood. Alright?
Let's take a look and see how we're doing in here. See that? Just like I told you, that little hose is pushing water into the bowl while the rest of the valve. Now, as you can see here, this didn't fill up all the way that I wanted to. Alright, so I'm going to turn this little guy counterclockwise until I can get a little bit more water going on in here. And we can reset the line. Okay, so now we got it all set and everything, we can go ahead and we can flush the toilet and make sure everything's operating properly. Just like that. Okay, so that's how you replace a Fluidmaster fill valve inside the toilet. Looks pretty good to me. Hey, that sounds like me. Time to get out of here. I got other things to do. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Till next time, keep plumbing.